March 18th, Mike Tyson raised the Ruddock. Raised the Ruddock dies. If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Ade, and welcome back to another edition of Boxtalk. It's time for This Week in Boxing, where we try to give you the reviews, all the gossip, all the information what's happened the past week in boxing. Let's start with last night's, well, this week's fights. Ade, quick one, Jermaine Taylor.
Look, he's got a world title. Funny circumstances. We've done a video on it again. Don't really want to go over it again, but yeah, funny circumstances. But look, he's got a world title. Who are we to complain? Scary thing for him is who's he going to fight next. I think they're almost going to try and cash him out, and hopefully they do cash him out and he gets a voluntary against, I don't know, a Jacobs, a Quillen, but he just doesn't go out. I don't want to go out with no brain bleeds or anything like that. That's a scary thing for him, but hopefully gets another shot, earn some money, and that's it.
You know, I want Jermaine I think most box fans want Jermaine to retire, but it's clearly not going to retire from what he's saying. So let's hope he makes a decent little bit of money, get out of the game quickly, and moves forward. Moving forward with other fights, last night Anthony Joshua looked very impressive, stopping Dennis Baktov in 2 rounds.
Yeah, strong.
Yeah.
He just looked, I think I tweeted like monster. He just looked like a monster yesterday.
Tremendously powerful. His jab and right hand, serious. Ian John Lewis, the referee, kind of tried to stop the fight and didn't stop the fight, but I think one more of those shots, I think anyone would have stopped the fight.
What was Ian John Lewis doing there? If you're not going to give a guy a standing 8 count, which it wasn't a standing 8 count rule, you can't split the fighters up when they're not tangled up.
Exactly.
Like that. What does that make sense?
Referees have to make decisive decisions, split decisions, if you like it or you're not. Just like in the Carl Froch, George Groves fight. Ian John Lewis has done it previously before, where he kind of said, I'm going to stop it. No, I'm not going to stop it. I'm going to stop it. No, I'm not going to stop it.
Strange.
Make your mind up, Ian.
Yeah, no, Lee Selby looked good yesterday.
Yeah, very good.
I tweeted that Lee Selby's got gears, and I now genuinely believe this kid has gears.
I thought you had gears. You like teeth with my stuff. You like teeth with my stuff.
Did you say you had gears?
Yes, I said it in the video.
You said it, whatever.
Yeah, Lee Selby did look great.
He looked good yesterday. And obviously IBF world title shot next. I think he's going to go on. Obviously he's in a division with Daenerys. There's loads of people in that division. So Abdul Mars in that division. So it's in a hot division, but I expect him to win that world title and see what he can do.
No, definitely. K9 Brundage comes back and wins a world title, IBF world title. So I tell you what I like about K9, I actually feel kind of sorry for him as well, is that for a champion from 2011, 2010, now the top guys wanting to fight him. When you're normally the weakest champion out of the 4, you should be a target, but his style is so unorthodox and I think his power is very underrated. People don't want to get in the ring with him. Yeah,
I remember a couple of years ago when he did win that title, they were actually talk. I remember his wife, who was his manager, tweeted something about the potential. They're talking about a Cotto fight, that Cotto wanted it, and then obviously they pulled out. I just hope that he gets a title, earns some money. What, he's 41?
41, yeah.
Earn some money, whether it be a high 6 figures or a low 7 figure, just get something, and because he deserves it.
You guys know me already. I think it's disgusting when you got a world champion and now the top 10 contenders call you out.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a fighter, you want to be a world champion, you want to make money, you got a title list there that everyone thinks is beatable, but no one wants to fight him. Why? Are they scared? Or it's the risk reward value?
Another fight yesterday on the O2 card was Ricky Boylan versus Tyler Goodjohn. Yeah. I was watching that fight. I tweeted it was a fight of the night, definitely. Tyler Goodjohn, wow. Yeah. Ricky Boylan can come again, it's his first defeat, but they look good. Yeah. Tyler Goodjohn looked good. His boxing skills were underrated. Yeah, definitely underrated.
You got a lot of these guys that were, what's the word? They've got names and they come in establishing players in the game, but they don't get the marketing or the credit they deserve. It was a great performance. Needs to be put in more marquee events, higher on the card to actually get his name and his brand out there.
Yeah, I don't know if he's signed to Matchroom. I think Ricky Boylan was the Matchroom fighter, so I'm not sure. But if he is, you're right. Again, hopefully he can get higher on the cards. All right, let's do this.
Let's do the news. Yeah. Okay, it's not the most important thing in This Week in Boxing, but it made me laugh so much. Shannon Briggs and Klitschko.
I knew he was going to go to Shannon Briggs Klitschko.
Shannon Briggs Klitschko. Yeah. Shannon Briggs, Shannon the Cannon, chases Vladimir on water. You cannot make this up. On a speedboat. On a speedboat. Circles him and calls him. What's the phrase?
I don't even know.
Call me champ.
Yeah.
Call me champ.
Hey champ. Yeah. I'm the champ.
I'm the champ. Well, he's got a phrase he keeps using, I can't remember. But basically circles Klitschko over and over again until Vladimir falls into the water. And Vladimir was pissed.
Yeah, look, I kind of said before, I don't know if this is a setup, I don't know what he's doing, but it's entertaining. Yeah. And that's what boxing's about. Boxing is not just about fighting, it's about entertaining. It's an entertainment sport. And Shannon Briggs is entertaining. Yeah. A lot of these boxers right now want the big fights but don't promote themselves. Yeah. Obviously this is going to an extreme, but this kind of should show people, you want that fight, you got to chase the fight sometimes.
Yeah, I'm loving this whole scenario of Shannon and Klitschko. Yes, Shannon doesn't deserve his shot right now, but he is a former world title. He is a name, and if you look at it, okay, in substance, not in current terms, he's better than most. He's got a record better than most guys in the heavyweight division. He's fought a lot of names, be it 10, 15 years ago, but he is trying to make a comeback. He's making a name for himself. I want to see him with a contender before he fights Vladimir.
The problem for Shannon Briggs is that he's not high in anyone's rankings at the moment, so he's never going to get a mandatory. And who would on their life want to fight Shannon Briggs as a voluntary?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he's in that kind of win-lose situation. You can't. There's no reason to fight him because it's just too big a risk, and he's not going to get a mandatory shot because he's too far down.
That's what we keep saying as well. What I like as well. I'm in shape. Don't be scared.
And he takes his top off all the time.
Yeah, he is in shape. He's in shape. He's in shape.
Mick Hennessy tabled that £440,000 bid for Kid Galahad to fight Scott Quigg. Yeah, so that's been tabled. Eddie Hearn confirmed it's a real offer, but they're talking about the fight happening in Dubai. So I think it's Dubai money behind it.
Got a back off.
Eddie Hearn says it ain't going to happen because of the dates, because I think they're talking about the fight in December. Obviously, Quigg fights on the Bellew card in November. But they're serious about Galahad fighting
very
Quigg.
serious.
440,000 serious money.
I didn't hear about that. I think that's a good. I think that's a good, honest purse bid for the fight. And you know, Kid Galahad's making a name for himself, trying to push himself out there. If they're that serious and offer that type of money, I think he should stay within that type of region and say, look, if you can't get Quigg or you can't get Frampton, you can't get these guys, stay with the top 10 guys and don't take no other fights lower than that level. If that's what you think you are, push it right now.
Good thing for Galahad is that, look, everyone's been talking Frampton Quigg. That kind of offer, money on the table, kind of puts his name within that kind of range now. Obviously, he's still below Frampton and Quigg, but it kind of puts him there. Yeah. That's good. What else you got?
We've got Channel 5. They're going to be showing the Martin Murray fight and the Stuart Hall world title fight. I thought it was very, very good for British boxing in terms, whereas Martin Murray's been having problems getting on TV. Yeah. Stuart Hall's a former world champion, just come for the world title on marquee TV. Channel 5 has been dancing in boxing in and out, but they never took on big fights. Yeah. This is a huge card, and it's not based on UK soil, it's over in Monaco, so they're sending a team out there to bring it over here. I think it's a great shot for Channel 5, getting back into big time boxing. I agree, look, it's huge. Obviously, we know they had the contract with Mick Hennessy, so obviously expect Hennessy fights on there, but I didn't expect them to kind of bid for other fights. I'm shocked that Box Nation didn't bid for Martin Murray or a Stuart Hall fight. So I think it's fantastic that Channel 5 are doing it, and it shows that they're ready to step, like you say, put real toes back into boxing. Exactly, and this is the type of fight that could actually shut out numbers on all the other shows, because that's it, it's on a marquee channel, it's going to be prime time hours. Potentially, if they market it right, advertise it right, they could get a huge audience. Alright, look, is Pac-Man losing some of these oomph? I mean, I tweeted recently with a HBO, one 30-minute episode of 24/7. I've got it on here as well. Look, I agree that we've already heard the Pac-Man story, but look, we've already heard the Mayweather story. Mayweather are not going to, All Access ain't going to do Mayweather for one 30-minute episode. I think he's losing a bit of his star power. I mentioned this before, if Mayweather losing star power as well, because of his pay-per-view numbers have been going down progressively over the past year or so. And I don't think it's the fighters themselves, I think it's the whole pay-per-view mold is suffering. Worldwide, there's an economic crisis. People do not have money. People cannot spend for hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Even TV execs cannot spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on these TV shows for no money. You know, what can they do? Yeah, but Mayweather is still, what did his last Madonna fight? Everyone said, what, 950,000? It's still a great number. I mean, Pac-Man, obviously, his numbers have not been released, but it's half of that. Yeah. He's dwindling in terms of star power for me. Definitely, I think all of them are dwindling, but I'm thinking that these companies now, they know now they cannot throw fake TV at you. Especially with the Mayweather coming out saying that his show was basically fake. Yeah. They know they can't throw this money out there. Like I said previously in the video, what counts in boxing ultimately at the end of the day is the fights. If the fight's good and competitive, that's what will sell. If it doesn't sell, all these 24/7 shows are not going to do more than it can. Shame for Algeria. In terms of Algeria, I mean, look, he's got a story, exactly. 24/7 for 3-4 episodes would have been good. I'm surprised that they didn't just do the 24/7 and just focus it mainly on Algeria, just for the background story, for everything he's come through. But it's a shame on him. What else? Yeah. Oscar De La Hoya saying he's not concerned about possible Schaefer and Mayweather team up. I think Oscar's been doing good with the Golden Boy MC, but I think I'm seeing a little sign of ignorance and getting a bit of that star power back where he thinks he's actually bigger than the sport. Schaefer ran his company. Schaefer knows his company. Mayweather's the highest draw in boxing and was working in conjunction with Mayweather. And Eddie's now seems to be out completely, it seems like. Yeah, Eddie's gone. Yeah. If you got two power players like that, and they got, obviously, Oscar doesn't have a great relationship with Al Heyman, Schaefer's the guy that's good with Al Heyman, so is Mayweather, you should be more concerned about what's the impact for boxing in general. Yeah, but Oscar's been the front of Golden Boy for years, and when I say I mean the front in terms of the face, you can't expect him to come out and say, I am afraid.
deep down, obviously he is, which is what he's doing, which is why he's teaming up with Top Rank, which is why he's even Bernardo Hopkins, Kovalev. He's building things behind that. So he's trying to bring Golden Boy back up again.
But why say anything? Just leave it. Us making these press statements recently, like he did a couple weeks ago about Canelo versus Chavez. He just says things for the sake of saying things. It's like if you've got nothing to say positive or nothing to say which is constructive to the sport, just leave it.
Yeah.
You've got such a big camp. You've got such a big company. You've got the contracts you want now. Talk about stuff which is relevant. Don't talk about stuff which is not necessary.
Yeah. On Oscar, obviously, he's recently come out as well and said Canelo Cotto. People were talking about more than that than Pac Mayweather.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a close one, you know. I think it's a very close one. I'd love to see that. I'm going to tweet that again and see what people say. I think it's not as clear cut as it was a year ago. Obviously, Pac May was bigger, but I think Canelo Cotto as a fight, it's bigger.
I think it is possibly a bigger fight because you've got two current champions at the top of the division right now.
Yeah.
With Mayweather and Pacquiao are no longer in that echelon.
Especially
also, the Mayweather Pacquiao fight can never be as good because they're both no longer in their physical prime. It's just a fact of life. Everyone gets older. These two, even though Cotto is older as well, these two are still proving that they're still at the top.
Okay. We've been talking about Rock Nation. Rock Nation are starting to make small waves in boxing. And recently, Rigo's camp, you know, Gary Hyde, Rigondeaux's manager, has come out and said Rigo got 2 promotional offers, huge promotional offers. One from Frank Warren, one from Rock Nation. That is interesting. For Rock Nation, if they're trying to sign fighters, like almost similar to the way Al Heyman did, if they're trying to sign fighters and Rigo's their first signing, wow. That's
a big statement. This hits back to what we were saying previously. If you wanted to get Rigo in a fight, get him now, because once Frank or Rock Nation get in there, the money's going to change, the demographics going to change. If you want to get a good payday and try to take on the ban in the division, do it now. Time's running out.
Yeah. Mikael Kessler returning, tweeted this week that he's returning.
Yeah.
So they've got a big fight.
Rumours are talking about Carl Froch straight away. I don't think it's a good fight.
If it happens,
Kessler's been out for 18 months.
Easily. And we're talking about, if he's coming back, we're talking about a fight in May, 2 years.
And then straight into a marquee pay-per-view fight. I don't think it's a good move. For Froch, it might be a good payday for him, but for Froch and the way
Froch fans, and the way Froch has kind of built himself up in the last 2 years, it's awful.
I think Froch will want more than that in his end of his career.
I hope so.
We're looking at injuries. Talking about Canelo a minute ago. Canelo's out with injury.
Fake.
Solis is out with injury.
Fake.
What's going on?
Canelo Cotto for me is signed. I think it's a done deal.
Yeah.
And I feel like Joshua Clottey is far too big a risk. Look, Joshua Clottey, TV execs weren't happy about it because it's Clottey. I mean, last time Clottey was on TV for big money, it was Pac-Man, and he kind of stunk that show out. Clottey's far too big a risk. Canelo's not injured. They're waiting for the Cotto
And you're talking less than roughly 4 months before the fight. Mid-December to fight back in 5th of May they won. So you only got January, February, March, April. You got 4 months. Any injury, any cut, anything that happens in that time, you're over.
Exactly.
That's what they call the fight.
And you're talking about Joshua Clottey. We're talking about probably the strongest 154 pounder out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Strong as an ox. So why risk it? Why? Yeah. It's a fake injury.
Couple quick bits. The girl versus Paraban signed.
Yeah.
Alaa Afolabi versus Hernandez is signed as well for first week of December.
Great fight. Cruiserweight.
Great fight.
Hernandez, I make favourite now, but after his last performance, I didn't think it was that good. But Afolabi he hasn't got a punch, you know.
No,
that Enzo Maccarinelli made everyone think he's got power. He doesn't have power. That's the problem.
So I tell you what, technically they're both great boxers, and you could get a great boxing match out of it. But I can see it's gonna be a slugfest. I can see they're both gonna go out there and try to establish themselves, stand their ground. Especially Afolabi's coming off 3 fights with Huck, which he's lost.
Yeah, I think lost 2. Yeah, drawn 1.
And he feels that that he's a
he
world.
He thought he won one, didn't he? He thought he won one.
I think he's coming hungry. Only thing I think is that Hernandez is a very big cruiserweight, 6'4", bowls down from about 230 to make 200 pounds. He's a big guy. He could box, he can move, he could punch, and he's Cuban.
I like that Cuban. Yeah. Look, the cruiserweight division is one of those divisions where it kind of disappeared a bit when the likes of Steve Cunningham left it. It's now starting to build up again. I'm not cleverly barely look their names. They'll add to it. It'll be a good fight. So cruiserweight division is a good division at the moment.
Yeah. Last one I've got on here. Jorge Arce's retired after his beating he took last week.
Is he really retired?
I hope he is. I mean, he's a great fighter, great career, multiple world champion, 5 weights. Can't really argue
that Gonzalez beating last week was a bit much for me, especially considering that. Yeah. That's the problem. We talk about people fluctuating in weight. He's gone like that with weights as well, and I just feel like. Enough wars. There's that kind of Mexican spirit where you fight wars all the time. Enough. You don't need to do it anymore. Andrade's done a big deal with Showtime coming up, basically.
Yeah, I heard about that as well.
You kind of feel like they're priming him to be not the next Mayweather, but the next big superstar.
Yeah, next big superstar.
And we've always said that he's a pound for pound guy, and I feel like he will be the next big superstar.
Last one I got here, sad news. Yesterday, Huey Fury, Tyson Fury's uncle, passed away. He was sick, and Tyson Fury pulled out the jaw fight because of this sickness with his family.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a very tight-knit family, so we don't know all the deals around it. But condolences go to the Fury family.
No, very true. A couple of last quick things. Curtis Woodhouse returns. I don't know. He's weird. He beat Darren Hamilton. I think Hamilton for the British title. Then supposed to retire.
Yeah.
After that, and then he went to Scotland, had that fight, and then okay, I'm gonna retire again. And now he's come back. I'm never coming back, guy. And now he's come back again.
He's got the boxing bug. He can't kick it. Most fighters say leaving boxing is the hardest thing to do. The adulation from the fans, the intensity, the adrenaline, the thrill of the fight. It's addictive, and people can't lose it. He's got the bug now, and hopefully it ends on a good note.
Last very quick thing. Obviously, I interviewed Eddie Hearn recently. I talked about the Bellew Cleverly pay-per-view card, and what he said was, yeah, it's a pay-per-view card,
not a pay-per-view fight.
And that kind of makes sense to me because it's not a pay-per-view fight, which a lot of people have criticised. It is a deep card, especially with Perry Bandegel on it as well.
No, great job with that interview, Ali.
Cheers.
When I watched the interview, I was like, yeah, that was the best answer he had. The best answer. I never. As fighters, we're looking at the main event. You want to say, "Oh, I won this fight," but you're right. It's not the fight; it's the card.
I mean, you look at the names on that card.
Yeah.
You ain't putting that together for free TV. It's that simple.
Hopefully, the fights that ain't being signed yet are good fights that elevate the card. Because unfortunately, as much as I like Anthony Joshua, I don't think Anthony Joshua versus Sprock is a very good fight.
But one thing he did kind of say off air that wasn't on the interview, and I kind of tweeted it to Chris Golden. He did mention that there's a little special fight on there.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you now, Kimbo Slice Audley Harrison.
I've been hearing that.
I might pay for it. Just for that.
I've been hearing that.
Anything else?
Nah, that's done from me.
Alright guys, that's this week in boxing. Loads of news. We might have run over time a bit, but what can we do? There's so much to talk about. Don't forget to email us at
boxtalk@hotmail.co.uk and don't forget us on Twitter at boxtalkuk.
Also guys, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching This Week in Boxing.